retrofitting Shangri-La. She also got into the poem. There's nothing like the beginnings of things. People set a stone, raise a post, build a house above the river. Then they live there. The child of the house says, everything has a middle, doesn't it? He watches the carpenters, wants to know the name and use of things. Older sister wants to know the reasons. Who we are and where we live. Why houses warp, wear out, and fall down. Grandmother says, nothing that comes to us will be here long. Everything that goes away will come again. The house needs paint inside and new foundation. Someone lifts a plank in the sleepy room wall, lets a window into a dark room. Grandmother, how good to be done. The carpenters pick up their tools and leave. They came to heal an old wound. The children grow up in the house above the river. They learn their own true names, the real reasons. They change and live forever.
I just simply titled it A Poet in Peplum. The story of you coming again is traveling around our family. My sister, eyes welled with tears, is especially impressed with your accuracy. How a stranger could get us so right. Our house above the river fell down again, rode out storm after emotional storm until it broke. It sits without warm bodies, bursting with sweet memory, and wishing away the throes of love and Shangri-La lost. Grandma's gone now, but she left her sensibility. My brother, the aspiring biologist, knows the name and use of 1,000 different things. And I still want to know why, and I want to know the reasons. I'll weave with good intention the story of our lives. My heart speaks without invention of how I know where we belong. In our place of snake's nose and swallow's tail, of bleached bear grass and maidenhair, of love designed by our own hands, held so resolutely by the root that is you. Grandma slammed the bottle down on the table and it burst into a wind of green shards caught in candlelight, floating, then vanishing into the night. She slumped in her chair, speech slurred, and ordered me to clean the purple stain from her dress, from the splintered floor, from my memory. This is called conspiracy theory. The birds have begun to conspire against me, begun to collectively use the hood of my car as their own private latrine, a dumping ground for the mixture of white and gray they cannot bring themselves to live with, and who could blame them? Surely an Indian would understand, could empathize with such an intrusion, my car claiming their space as its own. While you cleared the camp of sticker bushes and poison oak, I prayed that you would not cut your Chaco sandal exposed toes with that rickety weed whacker, because I couldn't bear to see injury keep you from the dance, prevent you from your duty, your responsibility, your part in making the world over again. You brought us wood, we made you black coffee grounds floating and spinning as you stirred in 2 heaping spoonfuls of sugar. You packed flint. We fed you roasted elk, tender from the hours spent on our sacred fire. Together, we sliced open the heavens and balanced the weight with arms muscled and sinewy, with shoulders strengthened by prayer. Coyote, tell me a little about your wily ways. I've got so much to learn and I'm going no place in particular. I want to be a thief of fire, sing lonely ballads to the brush dance boy in the moon. I want to trade you smoked salmon for a few tricks, some acorns for a single truth. Let's go for a ride in your two-tone truck, half river green, half reservation mud, with vanity plates announcing, creator of the world. I can spot you in any crowd, hear you coming from miles away. I know when you are creeping up from behind because the hair stands up on the back of my neck, and when I turn around to see nothing, I pretend that you are there because I like to be tricked and all I need is one truth. That I'll get from you someday because I'm bound to catch on to your crazy ways if I spend enough time hanging on to the end of your tail. I know you, Coyote. I saw you once in the mirror, watched you put cream and sugar in your coffee and say it was a sign that times have changed because now you prefer your fry bread low fat. Salmon pate instead of salmon patty. But you are still a coyote and that will never change. So whether you lead or mislead, I'll continue to follow because I like to be fooled, and all I need is one truth, which I'll get from you someday because eventually I'll know all those crazy ways if I spend enough time hanging on to the end of your tail. Uneka is reddening, showing herself full flushed to the southern wind, daring us with her peacock forests to look at her the way snow geese look at the silky gray-kissed sky. Her peak is persimmon and blood, yellow sunrise, a pulsing ache of Appalachian spruce. She knows we are hungry for what is lost. The Indians have risen from Indian Grave Gap to meet us near the summit, a beauty spot carved into her breast. She swallows us whole. And isn't it the greatest death to be devoured by a mountain? This poem is called Restoration. Awak Troy, the dams are coming down. The powers that be, guided by only what could be your hand, have signed a pact to take them down. And you are not surprised. You saw this day with magic eyes. You made this day with starry, glittery words. You're making it happen from the other side, doing angel work, deerskin dancer work, creating miracles, packing rock, making medicine to fix our river, our basin. We know it will be your hand that pushes the button. You will feel the first explosion of concrete, silt, water, the rush of a grateful river. When the second dam comes down, you will be there smoking your cigarette, nodding in agreement, trusting in the power of everything unleashed. When the third dam comes down, you will take a knee at the edge of the world, say your prayers, and when the song begins, you'll be ready. Awak Troy, when the fourth dam comes down, you will raise your flint to the heavens, split the sky wide, opening the ancient spawning grounds. You will have made your place in history, in your people's story. This river we love thanks you. These people you love, thank you. There once was a way, we lost it, said the note left at the center of the world. We lost it? The only way to lose it is to have it severed by ignorance and self-hatred. We didn't lose what's buried in marrow. Nothing can suck the life out of our dear bones. We have walked these mountains, dusted these mountains from the beginning of creation. It lives on because we keep it alive. There is always a way back to the center.
I am from the spawning ground. It's the one that we all know. At one time or another, we all swam from the same hole. That's when my water broke. That's when my father spoke. He said, when I was young, I was told, know how the water tastes, know which way it flows, feel the wind, know which way it blows, learn from the animals, the birds and the bees, say a prayer for the home ground, the rivers, the rocks, the mountains, the ocean and trees. Always give more than you take. Always work hard for the people's sake. Don't tell lies. Do things right. Sing your own song, and you won't go wrong. So, what I know is what I owe. Take it, use it, then put it back in the ground where it was before it was found. And then give it water, let it flow. Give it light, make it bright, let it glow. With love, with respect. That way, that day, we all can grow. Yodwa, yodwa, yodwa. Hot now, it hot now, it hot now, it hot now, it upriver person, all the way. A center of the world person, doing the day-to-day. Kaduk-ada-ada, right from the start. Kaduk-ada-ada, straight from the heart. And, well, I am he, but I am going to finish that way. Hey, hey, it, hey, it, hey, hi, it, hi, it. Hi, it, hi, it, hey, it, hey, it. Hi, it, hi, it, hey, it, hey, it. Hey, it, hey, it. Hey, it, hey, it. Hey, it, no wait. Hey, 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 hey. Hi, hey. Hi, hey, it, hey. Hey, hey, it, hey. Hey, hey, it, hey. Out on the island, in the middle of the bay, the sun set twice on the people that day. The world they were making, someone else was taking, saying, Eureka, I found it, claiming it's mine to own. Out on the island, in the middle of the bay, the sun set twice on the people that day. Then came muffled silence, sneaking up out of the dark. Something so evil, the dogs couldn't even bark. Not a word was spoken until the silence was broken by the sound of dying, so much crying. It seemed like the end of the world. Out on the island, in the middle of the bay, the sun set twice on the people that day. Fine lines, bloodlines, spilled, splashed, and splattered. Bodies broken, beaten, and battered. Faith torn, tested, shattered, tattered, shattered to the core. Not giving up breath, not giving in to death, survivors scattered into their darkest night. Out on the island, in the middle of the bay, the sun set twice on the people that day. We know it's not over. We know it's not done. But for us, our fight's just begun. But meanwhile, we must take time to regroup. We must take time and rest, because we know daylight's coming, and we have to give it our best. Out on the island, in the middle of the day, the sun set twice on the people that day. Then came cold morning, revealing light, all brand new and shining bright, making promises of a brand new day with a brand new way for the island out in the middle of the bay. Hey, at night, hi, hi, hey, 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 hi, hi, hey. Whoa, whoa. That one's called Indian Island. Whoa, hey, nut, and yeah. Whoa, hey, yeah. Whoa, hey, nut, I know and yeah. Whoa, hey, whoa, hey, nut, I know and yeah. Whoa, hey, nut, yeah. Whoa, hey, nut, I know and yeah. Whoa, hey, yeah. I am from the Red House, It has shown me its ways. I belong to the Red House, helping, healing, hoping our strength will stamp out the evil, the sickness, and hurt. If I would watch, then I must also listen, because those things might not be repeated again. I'm counting, I'm concentrating on rhythms, on feelings, below the surface, above the surface, out in the open, daytime, nighttime, always, forever. Red House people, it's in the blood. Giving, taking, hurting, healing, loving, hating, laughing, crying, living, dying. Red House people, it's a commitment. It's a test of faith.